The wisdom of Brahma Vidya is always the proprietary of an entity called Sadguru, the Sadguru which is eternal. And that is why through this Swagat Gan we say, Aaj Swagat Nitya Guruvar. Through this Swagat Gan we welcome that eternal Sadguru to come and bless the occasion because it is his wisdom, it is his mission to come on this mortal land and bless the ignorant souls with the wisdom of Brahma Vidya and take all these ignorant souls into the land of immortality. In the last session, we spoke in detail about what is Sadguru entity, and today we are going to talk about what is the significance of Sadguru Seva in the field of spirituality. So before I jump into the main core subject of today's discussion, I would like to start with brief discussion on what is the level of understanding we have developed about the Sadguru. So anybody can volunteer and answer. It will be just kind of refreshing our knowledge that we have built up so far. So, uh, so Sadguru, by the way, we understood that Sadguru is an entity. My question to the attendees are or is the Sadguru a unilocated entity like the individual soul, or Sadguru is a different entity, much divine and bigger than an individual soul? Anybody can please speak up.
Well, let, let me try it, Vijay Kumarji, because I'm the
Oh,
first one today. So I
yes.
like to make mistake. That's why I will.
Good.
Uh,
Welcome, Niranjan. Yeah.
Sadguru, in a sense that obviously there are lots of gurus. In fact, we heard today morning also from I think Mr. Amit Palji.
Nice.
I think difference in a Sadguru and other guru or any guru is that who acquired the self-realization completely.
Mhm.
So that's probably the fundamental difference between the Sadguru and others. Plus, Sadguru's soul is actually probably omnipotent, like
Mhm.
God, because
Mhm.
he or she can see from anywhere into our soul.
Right.
Since every soul is the different places, whether any human being or any living being, souls are
Mhm.
all different places. So he
Mhm.
exists in the other different all the places. Plus, Sadguru is
Right.
basically almost like a so-called dude for God,
Right.
because obviously
Right.
God uses the Sadguru to
Mhm.
give us the path to part of the to intelligence, see about our
Right.
intelligence, about our
Mhm.
showing our path much
Mhm.
more effectively, and also probably Sadguru can do the skama more easily than God himself. So I
Mhm.
think Sadguru's role has been for spiritualism is extremely the divine in the divine, as well
Right.
as basically a day-to-day offer of the services
Right.
to make sure that we can reach to God easily.
Wonderful, Niranji. You qualify for this session. You proved it. Okay.
I just tried it. That's it.
Okay. So yeah, and so anybody else wants to give any other view on this? So what we spoke, what we heard right now, was still on the platform of Vyakt form of Sadguru, meaning in the human form of Sadguru, um, there is somebody who you can easily reach to. But there'll be a day when there'll be no human form of Sadguru. Does that mean that Sadguru cease to exist? There'll be no human form of Sadguru. Does that mean Sadguru cease to exist? Anybody can please take it up.
No, the answer is this is Madan Bhandari. Uh, so, Sadguru, what we see, Sadguru Dev is the Vyakti form of Sadguru. there are Abhyas Guru, there are uh, so a guru can become a guru by Abhyas or uh, by delegation. So that is Parampara Sadguru.
Mhm.
Uh, but then there is an eternal Sadguru, omnipresent, ever present, uh, who we cannot see but has to be experienced. And that eternal Sadguru is the one who is imparting all his powers to the Vyakta Sadguru, to Siddha, to Abhyas Sadguru, and to
Parampara.
what is the term?
There's a Swayam Siddh, Abhyas Siddh, and
Yeah,
Parampara. Yeah.
yeah, Parampara Guru. Yes.
Hmm. Right.
So definitely Sadguru is always there.
Mhm.
How to get his blessing and how to attain Sadguru's or connect with him. That's what Vihangam Yoga is all about, as far as
Exactly.
I understood. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderfully, wonderfully articulated, Madanji. Yes.
Mm,
Anybody else? Yes. Mhm.
Vijayji.
Yes. Yes, Isha.
This is Jyoti.
Oh, Jyotiji.
Um,
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
I just want to tell is whatever I understand, like I cannot explain it in so many words, but
Mhm.
I feel that a Sadguru is always going to be there. It is the
Mhm.
soul,
Mhm.
that would be taking birth and rebirth, and
Mhm.
every lifetime the soul will
Mhm.
work on itself to get
Mhm.
to that stage where
Mhm.
Sadguru will hold the hand and take, to that blissful ocean like Satchit Ananda, that step, you know,
Mhm.
for the
Mhm.
soul to reach that stage, it will
Right.
happen. So your question that Sadguru will cease, it's never gonna happen, because
Mhm.
Sadguru, as you had explained in one of the slides, that
Mhm.
all four, out of the three padam, Sadguru is there already. It's only
Right.
one path where all this lila is happening,
Mhm.
and Sadguru is going to look for that soul, which is like a Hansa,
Mhm.
and he will remove all that once we start meditating more and more on him. He is going to come to help the soul. He
Right.
has taken a sankalpa that he
Mhm.
is going to rescue the souls, certain number
Right.
of soul.
Right.
So I feel that Sadguru will never cease. If he ceases, then I don't know what will happen to us souls.
Right. Right.
That's my understanding.
No, wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. Uh, I know that everybody else also share these views. That's why you guys are humble enough not to repeat the same statement. That's why you guys are not speaking up. But I know things are already covered by these beautiful souls. Thank you very much, all three of you. Just wanted to bring up one important point that the sankalp that Jyoti ji just spoke about. That sankalp is of Sadguru Sadafal Dev Ji Maharaj, who who is a Abhyas Siddha Sadguru, and it is his sankalp that I will stay on this mortal land, as meaning I will keep the Sadguru energy more evident for people to reach till my sankalp is over. And it is his sankalp to liberate minimum 100,000 souls in 6 generations, and that is the minimum number. Already the sankalp, according to sankalp, the things have already worked out and the numbers are still increasing. But I'm saying, when we talk about sankalp, it is the abhyas Sid Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj own sankalp, to just out of compassion he took this sankalp that I will sustain the Sadguru energy on the mortal land in the physical form, in the human form, unless my sankalp is over. Because once The Vyakta form of Sadguru is not there. When there is no Vyakta form of Sadguru, the Avyakta form of Sadguru works as good as the Almighty works. It is very, you know, tedious for a soul to first prove the eligibility for the Nityanadi Sadguru himself to come in a human form and teach the technique. Because eventually the energy has to manifest in some form for you so that he can communicate with you, right? Because we are not at the level of consciousness that we can communicate with the Sadguru. So for us to be initiated, inducted into Vihangam Yoga process or Brahma Vidya process, whatever name you call it, doesn't matter. The energy has to manifest into some form so that he can communicate with us. So for Sadguru energy to manifest for somebody, that person has to literally prove the eligibility for it, because it is not easy for anybody to get the darshan of Sadguru. That is what already is mentioned in Atharva Ved, right? We spoke about what Vedas talk about the Sadguru. It says that Anti Santam na Jahatyanti Santam na Pashyati Devasya Pashya Kavyam na Mamara na Jiryati. One cannot discard a holy saint who is already close to everybody. There'll be never a day when the Sadguru is not near to you. That will never be a day, because Sadguru is always near to you. But you cannot see him. Look at the power of the wisdom of that holy saint. He does not ever die nor gets aged. In Swarved, for the same thing, Sadguru Dafaldeji Maharaj mentions about that Sadguru entity. He says, Hai Sameep, dekhe nahi, वह देखे सब कोई. Means he is वह नित्यनादि अविनाशी सतपुरुष समीप ही है. He is the Sadguru entity is always nearby you. But उसे कोई नहीं देखता, but nobody can see him. परंतु वह सबको देखता है. But that Sadguru entity watches everybody. वृद्धावस्था और मृत्यु उसमें नहीं होती. That entity is not entitled to getting aged or death because he is beyond the body. प्रकृति तथा आत्मा के तत्व भेद को जानने वाले विद्वान यह बतलावे कि वह पुरुष कौन है. So those who claim to be the spiritually enlightened being, because they are so called enlightened, but the reality is different. They are so called. They are truly maybe not there. That's why Sadhguru Dev is openly asking this question. If anybody consider themselves to be enlightened, enlightenment is the field of eternal Sadguru, the Nityanadi Sadguru. Without getting his darshan, nobody can become enlightened. Anybody who goes in the mountain, the Himalayas, and when they return enlightened, from where does the enlightenment come to them? It is this eternal entity, this eternal Sadguru, who blesses such divine seekers with the knowledge of Brahma Vidya, and then they become enlightened. Because the key of Brahma Vidya is with eternal Sadguru. So those who claim that I am enlightened, if they are not able to explain about the existence of eternal Sadguru, that means the matter is something else. And as Nirenji also said, that the eternal Sadguru, the Sadguru is like the Doot, the messenger of Almighty. And Rig Veda accordingly speaks about it. Our Guru Dafaldeji Maharaj also spoke in Swarved about him, and he said, Charo yug mein prakat ho, sar shabd upadesh. करे मुक्ति जग जीव की पहुंचे अपने देश. The eternal master is one who appears in this mortal land in all four yugas and gives the wisdom of Brahma. Sara Shabd means Paramatma. Sara Shabd is just the synonym of Paramatma. So it is he who gives the teachings of Brahma Vidya. When we say Sar Shabd Vihangam Yog ka Upadesh karte hain, it means teaching the technique of Brahma Vidya, the technique by which you know the Almighty. जिससे वे सर्व जीव मुक्त होकर अपने देश निज धाम अमर लोक को पहुंच जाते हैं. So after receiving that divine wisdom of Brahma Vidya in the soul, not in the ears and eyes, one needs to understand that the wisdom of Brahma Vidya is not about reading and listening. Wisdom of Brahma Vidya is something which comes in the soul, and the soul is elevated by that wisdom, by that experience into the realm of consciousness. And suddenly all the conscious entities will become comprehensible to you. It will be receptible to you. You'll be able to experience them with the Brahma Vidya technique. So Sadguru entity is an eternal entity. And only matter I wanted to highlight is that Sadguru entity is not easy for an individual to get darshan of, because not everybody is eligible to get the darshan of Sadguru. Sadguru milna kathin hai, bhagyavan nar pai. For you to get the darshan of Sadguru, you need a great deal of fortune. And that is why only the purest being who have the honest seeking for the devotion, for the liberation, for them the eternal Sadguru will manifest in the human form and then teach the Brahma Vidya technique, the way he did for Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. So there could be lakhs of enlightened masters, but even though one becomes enlightened, still every enlightened masters are not called Sadguru. One can be enlightened, meaning one can realize God. One can be in union with Almighty. They are called Jivan Mukta Yogi, meaning the yogi who have attained the yoga with Almighty. Yet the soul will remain the soul only. One cannot become Sadguru just because one has attained the God realization. It does not qualify a soul to transform into Sadguru. No. Sadguru is much more than an individual soul. An individual soul at most can unite with Almighty and can attain the state of Jivan Mukt. But even a Jivan Mukt yogi cannot liberate any other ignorant being, because that power of liberation is with Sadguru. It is not with the soul. So this point must be very clear, that all enlightened masters can only motivate, but when it comes to liberation, then you have to find the Sadguru. Meaning, which Sadguru? The Sadguru who is available to you in the human form. And who is the human form of Sadguru? The one who have been chosen by the eternal Sadguru himself. Because it is the authority of eternal Sadguru. Not a group of people can choose anybody as Sadguru. That's what we discussed last week. So I want to make it very clear that being enlightened doesn't entitle a soul to become Sadguru. No. One becomes Sadguru only after eternal master flows his energy. When the Brahma energy and the Sadguru energy starts flowing into the soul, then with that flow of energy, one becomes Sadguru. And that is the flow of energy which the human being have to connect to. So the soul who is carrying that flow of energy is transformed as the Sadguru, the Vyakta form of Sadguru for us. Otherwise, the enlightened soul are one who have reached to the Brahm himself, but is not carrying the Sadguru flow of energy. So I hope this much is clear to us, and that's how the Vyakt form of Sadguru is one who gets the darshan of eternal Sadguru. Without the darshan of eternal Sadguru, one cannot become the Vyakt form of Sadguru. अज गुरु की छाया पड़े सदगुरु पद अधिकार विद्या पढ़ गुरु नहीं बने महाकठिन व्यवहार. Just by reading the books, being scholar of speaking about yoga, or even after becoming a yogi, one cannot become Sadguru, because Sadguru is the one who makes yogi. He is the master of those yogis who become Jivan Mukt. So he is the master of all. Now we'll come to the main subject. The subject for today is there, by the way, any questions on Sadguru before I jump onto the subject of Seva?
There is one lingering question,
Right.
and this, this doubt surfaces over and over again until we don't get the experience. And the
Mhm.
doubt is because there are so many gurus out there,
Right.
and everybody has their method. Um, you try. I at least tried, a number of ways.
Mhm.
So to put that confidence, and I think I asked this question before. I'm sorry to repeat it, but
No problem. Yeah. Mhm.
I have to, like, you know get that conviction. And so it is like, when you try one, two, three things and it doesn't work, and then you feel that you wasted all this time, and you didn't get anywhere.
Right.
That question keeps arising in the mind. What if this path, it also doesn't lead you to anywhere? And then,
Right.
so
Mhm.
how do you put that confidence? This is, everybody claims that their path is the best. All right.
Right. Mhm.
How do we develop that conviction and confidence in ourselves? Because everything is dependent on that. You give yourself, you surrender to Sadguru. Sadguru will take care of everything. But then the onus is also on you to develop that surrender.
Right.
So a lot of things are contingent,
Yeah.
and to feel secure that yes, this is the path. This is Sadhguru Dev is my savior, and we are going on the right path. So that's the
Yeah.
question. Mm.
Yes. Yes. Ranji. Yeah. Very beautiful question. I think Chitralekha ji, you wanted to say something.
Yes,
Your
JG, I because it relates to me. I was like him, the one I was in different organization for so many years. In the last 15 years, I have jumped from one to another. Everybody is good, but I was not able to continue. But when I came here, guess what? This is completely new to me. I've never heard of it. But somewhere I had the connection that comes from the soul connection. Previously, I had bhakti, I have respect, I have everything for them. I learned so much from them. But what in my experience, I can say you will get that connection to the guru or to the organization that you have. it comes from nowhere. You will feel that this is where you belong. I mean, you can say more to that. I mean, this is my own experience.
Yeah, Chitralekha ji, that's true. But Madan ji is also practically asking the right questions, and the workaround, to come out of this dilemma is first to be very clear about the Tattva Gyan. When we say Tattva Gyan, it means what is Sadguru should be clear, what is God should be clear, what is soul should be clear, what is mind should be clear. If all the Tattva Gyan is clear in your mind, then that will work as a scale for you to measure who stands where. Okay, so first of all, you need to build up that scale within you through which you can measure it. And for that, what are the logical way of connecting the dots and making, kind of building up your own tattva gyan is you have to begin with something. And when we say begin something, at least for example, for me, if you ask me, this is how I began. I began with Vedas, okay, because I took this as a fact that in Vedic time there were the saints, rishis, maharshis who had attained Brahma Vidya, who had got the knowledge of Brahma Vidya. So I'll start from there, okay, and then whatever the fundamental wisdom they spoke in Vedas, I'll take that as a reference and see who matches with those and take it further into practical aspect. Meaning, if something is spoken in theory in Vedas about what is the form of Almighty, is he physical or he is conscious? If it says that एको देवः सर्वभूतेषु गूढ़ः सर्वव्यापी सर्वभूतांतरात्मा कर्माध्यक्ष सर्वभूताधिवासः साक्षी चेता केवलो निर्गुणश्च. If our ancient scripture says that Almighty is a Chetan Tattva, a Cheta, he is a Nirgun and he is omnipresent, he is Sakshi, Karmadhyaksha. If it talks about it, then from this we understand that God is certainly a conscious entity. So one Tattva Gyan is clear. This is how you build up your Tattva Gyan. Okay, so God has to be a conscious entity. Now, the Vedas, the ancient scriptures also says, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya mansasa. Now, something which is conscious in form, he is unattainable by any means of your mind and any means of your speech, meaning any practices which is based on your indriyas, any practices which is performed using your indriyas, your speech organs, your sensory organs, your organs of actions, your mind, they will all fall short of realizing the consciousness in which the Almighty exists. This is also already spoken in ancient scriptures. So you build up this theory, within you to have a reference for you to decide where to head. So these are the building blocks that drove Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj also when he was seeking the true wisdom of Brahma Vidya, because he knew that the Almighty is a matter of Chetan Vigyan. He is not a matter of Bhautik Vigyan, not a matter of physical Vigyan. He is a matter of science of consciousness. So he was always in the pursuit of practices which will raise him into the experience of consciousness. And that is why somebody told him that you do this japa, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. He did that. And whatever experience he could get, he got that. And then he concluded, oh, this has only this limit. It cannot take my consciousness beyond to the realm of true consciousness. And that's how he continued his journey. So with his experience, with the Vedic scriptures, we build up certain fundamental ground reference for us to decide who or which organization, which wisdom is more closer to what is already a proven fact in Vedas. So with this, we conclude that we certainly need to have a technique which talks about experiencing consciousness. I'm sorry, Narayanji, yeah, Venkatji.
Sorry, I to take off my raising hand because I had the same questions, exactly the same as what Mananji asked me. We see lots of Sadgurus, but how to find the right Sadguru is a question that I was thinking.
Right.
I'm not questioning Jai Sadapal here,
Right.
but I'm questioning about other Sadgurus, like for example, Isha or any, like I don't want to name anyone here, but there will be such Sadgurus as well. So,
Right. Sure, no problem. So that's what I'm trying to address, that what is the reference? For example, now we have a clear reference by which we decipher that just keeping the name, prefix name or suffix name as Sadguru doesn't make anybody Sadguru. We have got a reference to understand that there is already a Sadguru, the eternal Sadguru. And that eternal Sadguru blesses a soul and makes that soul as Sadguru, then only it becomes the human form of Sadguru. The reference is that Sadguru entity is here to open our 10th door. His job is to open the 10th door. His job is to take us into the realm of consciousness, which is not reachable by us on our own. How hard we try to practice chanting or visiting temple or doing whatsoever, that will make us eligible, but we alone will not be sufficient to reach to that realm. It makes us eligible for Sadguru to come and bless us. But without Sadguru, we don't enter into that realm. So that entity, the Sadguru, whoever is in the physical form right now, should be equipped to control our mind, should be able to explain about mind, what is mind, where is the mind located in the body, where does it go when you are in the state of union with Almighty, where does it go when it is in the state of deep sleep. These are the fundamental questions. If somebody is not able to explain about the mind as an entity itself, because let me tell you, the easiest way to find who is the true Sadguru, the formula is given by Kabir Sahib himself. Kabir Sahib is the physical form of human form of Nityanadi Sadguru himself. Nityanadi Sadguru himself appeared in a human form in Kali Yuga as Kabir Sahib. And he gave this formula. He said, if you have to find true Sadguru, then this is the formula. You figure out these questions with those gurus. You ask them, is tan mein man kahan base? Where does the mind reside in this body? निकस जाए कहीं ठौर, गुरु गम हो तो परख लो, नहीं तो कर गुरु और. If Guru knows about the mind, then he will tell you. If he is unable to explain this alphabet of spirituality called mind, that means it is time for you to, bow down to that master and move on. Because whatever he could serve you, he has done his job. So you must respect for that. You have certainly something to learn from every master. But when your seeking is much more than what he is delivering to you, then it is time for you to move on. In fact, when I hear gurus speaking about mind, let me tell you, it is the ball of Swarved that we are also now skilled enough to measure that, in what level of water the gurus are when it comes to the spiritual knowledge. When it comes to Seva, I will say they are all respectable. because all the gurus are doing tremendous seva to the humanity. And that's why I respect all of them. Without their seva bhav, the world will not be as beautiful as it is for those who are in the spiritual field, right? So they are all respectable. But when it comes to the God realization, then you have to find the true master who have the clarity about the mind, who have the clarity about the soul, who have the clarity about how to take a soul into the realm of consciousness. And not only that, who can take the soul into those realization while you are living in the body. So you must be having a living proof also in that organization that people have attained those stages, those experiences when it comes to the experiences about consciousness. So these are the scales, fundamental scales through which you can figure out where do people stand. There could be guru who can teach beautifully about dealing the problems of day-to-day life, but if they prefix their name with Sadguru, it doesn't make them Sadguru. They are all called the Vedic Guru, or the Vedic Guru is the one who teach Vedas. They are called Vedic Guru. The other gurus are called, majority of the guru, I will say, majority of the organizations that run today are all Laukik Guru. Laukik Guru. There are three levels of Guru: Laukik Guru, Vedic Guru, and Sadguru. Laukik gurus are those gurus who gives you the art of dealing the day-to-day problems. They will tell you, in the difficult situations, this is how you should behave. You should remain unattached with the things. All those manners and systems, the frame of mind, they will equip you with all those technique through which you can remain unaffected with the problems of life. But they are still under the Laukik Guru. They give you the art of dealing with the day-to-day problems. But when it comes to soul realization, when it comes to Brahma realizations, that is the subject of Sadguru. So I think we'll take this discussion further in all other future sessions as well. This has to continue.
Yes, so that's a great we are developing all that understanding, and thank you. You have been instrumental in leading us in that direction. So I really appreciate it. I do have one request, which is, and you just mentioned that, um, you know, the guru who can tell you where the money is, where the mind is in the body. And I think we learned this, but I think we all need a refresher. And
Right.
the reason I say that, because um, this morning or last night when we were having the 7 p.m. meditation session, and after that, a subject came up during the discussion about the man. So every participant had varying views, and I sensed a sort of in clarity. I wouldn't say
Right.
confusion, but in clarity about difference between mind and brain.
Right.
We still all have our versions.
Right.
So maybe in the general session or this session or any other session, we may specifically carve out for just that subject, mind
Yes.
versus brain, where the mind is, and also the four conscious tattvas.
Right.
Yeah, that is fundamental to this journey, and
Right.
more we strengthen and have a clarity about that, better it is. So that would be my request, and if you can just
Yes. Yes. Yes, yeah.
create that.
No, no,
Thank
no.
you.
That's in the plan. Basically, after Seva, I had planned to cover mind. Basically, man. I always say that the mind is a loose translation of man, because mind term has been used now in different contexts as well. but man. So that's the plan after Seva. And when we speak about man, we are going to cover there what is mind or what is man, where does it originate from, what is it made of, where does it reside in the body, and how the consciousness separates from mind, how do we control mind, how do we do the we submerge mind in source to go beyond the realm of mind. So there are several things around mind that we need to understand. What is the functionality of mind, what is the relation of mind with the other inner organs, what is the relation of mind with the sensory organs and the organs of actions, what is the relation of mind with soul, what is the relation of mind with god realization. So there are several things to cover for the mind itself. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Will it be possible that I know the answers are all in Swarved.
Right.
However, Swarved itself uh, requires a little more understanding, and
Right.
maybe by repeated
Yes.
study of this, it will happen. But for our
Right.
sessions, if it is possible to send some advanced reading material so that we
Okay.
can absorb the maximum or get the maximum benefit of these sessions,
Sure.
with some pre-reading, so that when we come to it, we come with our questions, we come with our understanding, and any clarifications we can have. Okay, thank
Wow,
you.
that's a beautiful suggestion, Madanji. So what I'll do is I'll send all the references of Surveyed related to mind, and you all can try to understand from Surveyed. And then when we come to the discussion, we'll anyway speak on those.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. So the seva that we wanted to talk today is in the context of the goal of human life. Okay. So we have fourfold purusharth, the goal of human life: earth, dharma, kam, and moksha. And today we are going to speak about seva in the context of moksha. Seva in the context of moksha. In the sense, seva in the context of spiritual enlightenment. What is the role of seva in the enlightenment, in the path of enlightenment? That's all we are going to cover today. So, in that context, can anybody speak up first that what is the form of seva that they think can lead to the God realization?
My version, my opinion here is in Seva, what we do, there are a lot of people, like I see, they do Seva at the same time, they take a picture and then post it in the Facebook, that kind of thing. So they are doing for their publicity, which is not actually a real Seva. I always concurrently, but nowadays stop doing it. There's no point. So if you do for a particular return, like whether it is a respect or a position or some other benefits, that's not a Seva. So selfless service is the real Seva, which is very rare in the society right now.
Yeah, Vijayji, my answer is that seva is all good, but the self seva without the expectation of any results whatsoever, the karma phal tyagi seva is the best one.
I'm sorry, Nirenji, I couldn't get you completely. Uh, can you please say it again?
Yeah, whatever. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, what I was saying, seva is obviously any seva is good, but a seva that is completely void of the result for expectation of the result is the seva that can reach to the Almighty, or
Okay.
whatever your expectation is.
Right, right. Parmarth Niswarth Seva. Okay.
Yeah, Vijay, this is
Yeah.
Anil.
Yes, Anil.
So,
Yes. Mhm.
so in my perspective, like you help the needy
Mhm.
unconditionally,
Mhm.
with whichever the form it is, whether it could be food, it could be any other help, money, or what, doesn't matter.
Okay. So I just want to put forth another context that we already covered in previous sessions when we spoke about karma, vikarma, and akarma. Okay. So in karma, there is a shubh karma and a shubh karma. Shubh karma are all those karma which are pious actions for the good actions which uplift the the living beings, individual life or society life, or the world as a whole. When there's an upliftment, when there is a brotherhood, the love, when it's all the establishment of righteousness, they are all they are all under shubh karma. They're all under shubh karma. But in those shubh karma, there are again certain special karma which is not only about uplifting the life of a living being, but the purpose of those or the result of those pious actions, pious effort is to reverse the flow of consciousness. Reverse the flow of consciousness from outward to inward. There are certain effort There's certain effort which will help you reverse your flow of consciousness from outward to inward. I know that this is a heavy term which I just used. There's a reverse of flow of consciousness, reversal of flow of consciousness from outward to inward. So, can anybody explain this, please, just to bring it to the common people understanding? So, whatever you guys understand about saying when we say this reversal of flow of consciousness from outward to inward, what does it mean?
Vijayji, Rajeshji. So basically, what I understand, so from Prakriti to towards if you are flowing your consciousness towards Akshar Brahma or towards Sadgurudev towards moksha, then it's called reversing the flow from outward to inward.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so anybody else wants to
So,
reiterate? Yeah.
most of the time, our consciousness is always flowing outward because our everything we are interacting with this prakriti or world as we see it is through our indriyas.
Right.
So all our indriyas are and the consciousness is acting through the indriyas. So
Right.
you see something and you react to it. uh, it may it may be pleasant scene, it may be a disturbing scene, it may be it may be anything, but then your consciousness interprets that and then you react accordingly. um, it's same way, other actions with your other indriyas, with touch, smell, everything, and that's the constant interaction. So your consciousness is flowing outward through the indriyas.
Right.
When you stabilize your mind through meditation, and when you collect your consciousness and you direct it inward, uh, that is a time when you're getting in connection with the super consciousness or Brahma,
Right.
as Rajesh said. So
Right.
at that time, then your flow of consciousness stops from getting affected from the outside world, and now you are stabilized in in your inner
Right.
in Brahma or inner consciousness.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Madanji. Yeah. So, anybody still has anything else to add onto it? Wonderful. Yes, I'm very glad, Madanji, you are catching up things very quick. Yeah. So, in simple word, you can understand like this. What is the outer world? The outer world is all the set of subjects which are comprehensible by your sensory organs. So if the subject which you are connecting to is the subject which your indriyas have captured, either your eyes have seen something, your ear have heard something, maybe it could be the statue of Almighty only. Let me just make it very clear. It could be a temple, it could be a statue of God, and with closed eyes, you are remembering God's statue in your mind. Okay? Still, it is the outward flow of the consciousness. Why? Because you are connecting your consciousness to the physicality, the subject which your indriyas have captured. So, through the outward flow, you are moving your consciousness to the subject which is made of this nature. And through inward flow, only through inward flow, you elevate yourself to connect to the subject which your indriyas cannot capture. So there are two streams of knowledge. One is called paravidya and other one is called aparavidya. Aparavidya is obtained by the outward flow of consciousness, and paravidya is obtained by the inward flow of consciousness. And both are mutually exclusive, in the sense, that's a wrong term to say mutually exclusive, because paravidya then has the power to encompass all the wisdom of aparavidya as well, which automatically enlightens within the soul once one attains the paravidya. So paravidya is a superset. So I should not say that way, that mutually exclusive, but for sure the aparavidya does not cover any subject of the paravidya. And aparavidya is when your consciousness has to flow outward, and through your sensory organs, whatever wisdom, whatever experience you are capturing, they are all aparavidya. Through sensory organs. It could be the statue of Almighty. It is through your sensory organ, through your mind. Mind and sensory organs can capture only the subject of aparavidya, including the statue of Almighty, including the temple, including the chanting of mantra. All these are done with the outward flow of consciousness. An inward flow of consciousness is possible only when the mind is set to control and consciousness is pulled inside. There has to be an energy in action. There has to be an energy in action for pulling your consciousness inside. And that energy is called Sadguru. So the inward flow of consciousness happens with the energy of Sadguru. As long as you are not connected to the Sadguru energy, then you remain in the gamut of aparavidya, in the gamut of prakriti. Whatever you experience, it is still within the faculty of mind, intellect, and your indriyas. Through your intellect, you are analyzing things, making conclusions. Through your mind, you are imagining things or traversing from one subject to another, from one thought to another, and making some conclusions. Through your indriyas, you are looking at stuff which is in front of you. This is what is called you are still living in the realm of material subject and physicality. You are not in the domain of consciousness yet. So, Seva that I wanted to talk about today is the Seva which will reverse your flow of consciousness. So, with that reference, now can you speak up again? What is that Seva? If you say that I'll do selfless Seva, just think about it. That is beautiful things to do. Every spiritual practitioner does that. But is that seva sufficient for you to pull your consciousness inward? If you're helping somebody selflessly, do you think that it will equip you to be able to get your consciousness pulled inside? Just think about it. Maybe you'll be feeling very calm with your mind because all the negativities are gone because of the selflessness that you have developed within you with the selfless service. Absolutely. But when does that effort of selfless service fall into the category of vikarm, not the shubhkarm? Because there is a difference between vikarm and shubhkarm. All those services that you are doing selflessly is still under the normal shubh karma, which will give you a good physical phal, the fruits, meaning your worldly life will be improved. Your worldly life. There'll be no dukha in your life, in your worldly life, when you do those pious actions. But I am not talking about that limited benefit of seva. I'm talking about a seva which will reverse your flow of consciousness. A seva which fall under the category of vikarm.
So, by inference,
Mhm.
the seva that you're talking about, that will reverse the flow of your consciousness from outward to inward, and that because you just mentioned that that is only possible with the blessing of the Sadguru Dev.
Right.
So any seva
Mhm.
that will invoke the blessings of Sadguru Dev upon you, that is the seva we are talking. And that seva should be, obviously it has to be selfless, but it
Yes.
is also uh, and obviously it has to be without any desire for
Worldly.
worldly desire. uh,
Mm.
it is, so basically you're doing seva detached from any expectation that it will give you anything. It will result into something beneficial to you. You're just doing it so for the good of humankind.
Right.
And basically you are, call it, you pay your dues because you got something because of somebody else, because of some other seva, whether it's your mother, father, your friends, your uh, guru bhais, your gurudev, some other gurudev, anybody who has helped you to get to get you where you are. uh, there should be a payback of that as well. So that's the seva. I understand that that's the type of seva we should be doing.
Yes, very, very beautiful, Madanji. Yes. So I'll just take it forward what Madanji said, that the reversal of flow of consciousness is possible only when you strengthen your relationship, your devotion, your bondage with Sadguru. So what are those form of seva in which you strengthen your bondage with Sadguru? You strengthen the relationship of your consciousness with the energy of Sadguru. Those form of seva is called vikarma. So when is that possible? It is possible when you perform seva under the guidance of Sadguru, under the instruction of Sadguru. Where while performing seva, all you know is you are just obeying the instruction of Sadguru. You're not even attached to seva. When you say that we have to do selfless seva, we have to be detached from seva, the work that we are doing, how is that attained? It is attained when you don't even carry the impression of seva within you. All you carry the impression about is the Sadguru. That's all. And you're just obeying his commandment. And under his commandment, whatever could be the form of seva. For example, right now in COVID-19 situations, you know what is the statement of Sadguru, the Vartaman Sadguru, the present Sadguru? He says, no matter if I have to sell all the ashrams, but anybody who is hungry in the neighborhood of our ashram, we have to sell the ashram but feed them. Don't let any person remain hungry in this COVID-19 situation. So under his commandment, all the disciples in India are doing their best to make sure that from ashram the bhandara keeps running, and anybody who has lost their income can come to the ashram and eat. There are two ways you can perform this seva. One is manmukhi seva, where you take the initiative on your own, right? You feel that I want to do selfless seva, I want to serve the poor. That will be your shubh karma. And the other way is you don't know what seva you have to do because you don't bother what seva it is. All you consider is what does my Sadgurudev want? What does my Sadgurudev want? Whatever he wishes for, I am there to do that. That's all you want. That's all you know. So when you are in that frame of mind, when you are in the seva, that seva is vikarma. And I am going to cover that frame of seva in this discussion. So I hope I'm making it clear.
Yes, so far.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is Sadguru Seva? Guru आज्ञा पालन करे, आज्ञा सेवा जान, मन वच काया कर्मणा सदगुरु भक्त अमान. अमानी सदगुरु भक्त मन वचन काया के द्वारा गुरु की आज्ञा का पालन करते हैं. सदगुरु की आज्ञा का पालन करना ही सेवा है. So word by word obedience of Sadguru's instruction. So basically seva is bhakti. What we think seva is serving the humanity and all, the next level of seva itself is bhakti. When you are in the bhakti, you are in the devotion of your guru. That itself is seva. And when you are in the devotion of guru, you just don't consider any of your own opinion. Your opinion does not matter at all. You do not decide what you should do. No, you do not decide that. You just surrender yourself to Sadguru. And whatever Sadguru wants, that becomes your wants. Whatever Sadguru desires, that becomes your desires. Whatever is Sadguru's instructions, that becomes your commandment. So when you tame yourself, when your life is transformed to live under the obedience of Sadguru, That is when it is called you are living in Seva. You are living in Seva. For example, what our dear Lal Mani Bhaiya is doing. He is living his life in Seva. What our dear Rajkumar ji is doing. He is living his life in Seva. We all must learn from them. They are doing what Sadgurudev is here on the earth to do. By we going forward and helping anybody, let's try to understand up to what level we can serve them. Anybody who is suffering, because of which they need our help, let's go into the root of the suffering. Maybe you can help them go through the current suffering. But unless their karma is improved, then your this life suffering or this moment of suffering, you can help them to go through this moment of suffering. But if their karma is not improved, if they remain close to the fire, then how hard you wipe their face, they will still keep getting the heat from the fire. Rather, what we should focus on is let them move away from the fire. So the wisdom, giving the wisdom of Brahma Vidya, enlightening people to become more spiritual, is the bigger form of seva. Because by that, you are not serving the human body or the human life, you are serving the soul itself. So that the suffering of soul ends forever, not only for this moment, but the suffering of soul should end forever, because as long as they will remain in the cycle of life and death, your effort of serving them, with your own mind, manmukhi seva, would maybe relieve them by that moment of thirst or hunger or need of clothes. But along with that, if you connect them to the Guru, then that soul will be served. You're not serving just this life that the soul is living in, but you'll serve the soul itself. That is the bigger form of seva. And so Sadgurudev says, Jati Rashtra Samaj ki sabhi seva jaan, uttam seva jagat ki Brahma Vidya kar gyan. The biggest form of service is to give the wisdom of Brahma Vidya to the people. So all the seva that we do, it could be the same seva, but under the commandment of Guru. It is only then your consciousness is equipped with the enough devotion for getting pulled inward into the journey of spirituality. So under the commandment of Guru. Okay, so the next one is that's what I said, that Brahma Vidya Pracharaka Sadguru ka jag kaam kare karave tahi ko soi seva shishya naam. So they are all forms of seva. You can go help poor, you can contribute for building the nation, society, you deal with social problems. The COVID-19 situation is there. We all did the social service. The Vihangam Yoga organizations, with their own hard work, prepared the about 700-800 of face mask, and we delivered it to hospitals. So all these are fine, but the biggest form of seva is to spread the Brahma Vidya knowledge. That is the biggest form of seva. So why seva? Ideally, this question should not be discussed, because the moment we add why in Seva, then the purity of Seva is just gone, just there. But because we are building our understanding right now, it is still important to understand, so that you can decide where you should invest your time. So in Swarved, our Sadgurudev says that Uttam Adhikari mile, Sar Shabd Upadesh, Sadguru Sen Lakhavahi Nahi Bhashan Adesh. The Sadguru is capable. Sadguru is capable to open the door, the 10th door of anybody at any moment of time. Any moment, he can open the door, provided he finds that person eligible for their door to be opened. Sadguru is capable. But are we ready for our door to be opened? Are we ready for God realization? Are we ready for self-realization? And this is why there are 5 different levels of disciples. The disciples are of different levels. Disciples are Uttam, Madhyam, Kanisht, Adham, and Adhamadham. Our journey may begin from Adhamadham. Adhamadham are those whose sensory organs are still running after sensory pleasures. They believe in knowledge, but they are not able to practice it. They are still, living the same life. Such Shishya are the Shishya. They are the disciples, but their cycle of life and death will continue the way it continues for other human being as well. So they may take birth in the insect, in the dogs, in horse, because they have just enrolled into Brahma Vidya, but they are not practicing Brahma Vidya. They are Adhamadam. Only momentarily, when for some days their man says, now I want to become Vairagi. And few days they will practice everything, and suddenly their mind will change. They will know about Brahma Vidya, they'll know about Vihangam Yoga, but their mind is still fluctuating here and there and getting attracted to the materialistic subjects. They are Adhamadham Shishya. Sadguru is capable to open the door immediately the moment you reach in the stage of Uttam Shishya. And when you become Uttam Shishya, then this very question itself does not exist for you, that who is the true Sadguru? This question will vanish the day you become Uttam Shishya. Why? Because when you are pure enough, ready for that, then the moment you come in the close vicinity of Sadguru, just by coming close to Sadguru itself, your consciousness will start getting pulled inward, because the Sadguru energy will start working just by coming close to him. And then you know very clearly where is the true Sadguru. You can feel exactly as Chitralekha ji said, that from your soul itself you will understand who is my true Sadguru. It will come automatically the moment your purity level starts improving. So Sadguru is capable. Are we ready? Are we capable? Are we pure? And this is why the only way we have to uplift ourselves is by Seva, by involving ourselves in Seva. Without that, the cadre of discipleship is not going to improve from Adhamadam to Uttam. Seva Sadguru Sant ki adhikari man aav, jigyasu vah nahi hai sevak sevya na bhav. In fact, even the first stage of spirituality, which is about controlling the mind, Even that is not possible without seva. Only when you are in the service of Sadguru and saints, it is only then you build up that eligibility within you that Sadguru will stop your mind in your practice. संत और सदगुरु की सेवा करने से मन को वश में लाने की योग्यता प्राप्त होती है। वह जिज्ञासु नहीं है जिसमें सेवक होकर स्वामी की सेवा करने का भाव नहीं है। So unless we become a sevak of our Sadguru, it is only by seva we can please the master, by our seva bhav. It is something like this. You look at your children. When your children will come to you and will serve you, automatically the love will flow from your heart to that child. Automatically. That is the power of seva. So when you serve Sadguru, automatically the love will flow from Sadguru to you. And when that love flows from Sadguru to you, what happens? Immediately your Chetana is pulled. It is a natural process. And that is why Seva Sadguru Sant ki adhikari mana. Without serving Sadguru, the consciousness will not be able to set itself free from the restlessness of the mind. And the moment the consciousness is put together and pulled inside, the mind is calm. Mind is calm. So the calmness of mind, the eligibility for attaining the calmness of mind is also not possible without seva. So those who are beginners in Vihangam Yoga, slowly we introduce them the need of getting into seva. We cannot tell them about seva straight away because they do not understand the science and the fundamental reason why we are asking them to do seva. So without they understanding it, they will take it otherwise. But if you are a true seeker, then I have to tell you this. Because in Vihangam Yoga, everything is truth, nothing beyond truth. So if you truly want to control your mind, seva is the first thing, even before sadhana. Compared to seva, sadhana, first we have to become sevak, then you have to become sadhak. And that is why in our ashram, those who come for initiation, those who come for induction in Vihangam Yoga process, they are first asked to do some seva. And when they show the willingness for seva, it is only then the real induction of Vihangam Yoga happens to them. Otherwise, it is just a formality that they will be inducted into Vihangam Yoga process. But that induction will not work the way it works with those who are willing to surrender and serve. So essential for mind control, the sevya bhav, the seva is essential for mind control. Now another bigger thing, which is very important for all of us to understand, because all of us will always have this kind of curiosity that what is that experience in meditation. Sadguru writes here, Shobha Divya Anup hai, Surati Dwar ke mahi, Yah Rahasya Santan milay, Sevak Sadguru pahi. सूरती द्वार के भीतर प्रवेश करने पर उस चेतन मंडल की प्रतिभा परम दिव्य अनुपम है। यह रहस्य भेद कला अनुभवी संत को प्राप्त होती है जो सद्गुरु शरण में रह सेवा में संलग्न है। What does it mean? It means that When you practice meditation, after your 10th door opens, then what remains is the realm of consciousness. Then your physicality vanishes in your experience. All you see is the light of consciousness. And within that realm of consciousness, now you have to progress further to attain the subtleness of Almighty God. And for that to happen, there is something called Makartar. There is something called Vihangam Marg. So there is a path, there is a flow of Brahm energy. There is a stream of Brahm energy which is flowing from Almighty to the soul. It is always flowing. You are always connected to Almighty through that flow of Brahm energy. But we are not able to experience it right now. But when your 10th door opens, then it is Sadhguru's job to make that flow of energy appear for you to experience that, so that you can catch hold of that flow of energy and reach to the realm of supreme consciousness. So this is a very secret process. That is why Sadgurudev has mentioned here, यह रहस्य भेद कला अनुभवी संत को प्राप्त होती है. This very secret process is made evident, available only to those who are in seva at that moment. Because for that process to work, the soul needs to be filled with seva. That is the, you can say, that is the ambience which is required for that experience to fall into the soul. Without that container of seva, that experience cannot fall into your soul. So, for you to attain that ultimate level of God realization, one needs to develop the seva bhav from now itself. Seva bhav is the foundation for God realization. Without this seva bhav in your heart, in your soul, the ultimate God realization which the Sadguru has to give to us, he will be unable to give to us, because even though he flows his experience, his energy to the soul, it will return back. And that's what Sadgurudev says several times in his Amritvani. He specifically had asked Ram Prasad Chaube ji once that, why did my energy return back? Did you not get up? Did you not practice Brahmahurta sadhana? Were you not in seva bhav? My energy came back. I wanted to give you one experience, but it came back. This says that the practitioner needs to develop a quality called seva right from the beginning itself, so that when it is the time for you to receive the energy from Sadguru, you are eligible, you are equipped, you are capable to hold that energy. Without seva bhav, the experiences in meditation is also not possible. सेवाहीन विद्या पूर्ण फलवती नहीं होती, इसलिए ब्रह्म विद्या के अधिकारियों को चीरकाल सेवा करके ही ब्रह्म विद्या के समस्त तत्वों का ज्ञान प्राप्त करना चाहिए. So those who are just after, Swamiji, please change my bhumi from first stage to second stage. Swamiji says that they are only curious what happens in second stage. They are only curious to know. But this curiosity is not right. just being curious. Okay, what happens in the second stage, what happens in the third stage? Let me get initiated into that and know how that initiation of third stage happens. Is not going to lead to anything. Without, no experience will come to you even though you are initiated into those stages. So more than initiation, what matters is how devoted you feel for Sadhguru. That is the bigger achievement than progressing into the second stage. Because even though you're initiated into the first stage, but your devotion level, your seva bhav for Sadhguru has improved your degree of discipleship from Adhamadham to Uttam. Then you do not even need to be initiated into second and third and fourth. He can directly initiate you into the fifth stage. So we need to now decide what we need to consider more important. Is it the sadhana? Is it the initiation, progressing from first stage to the second stage, or the seva bhav for Sadhguru? Because what matters most is how soon we become the Uttam Shishya. That is what matters the most. So seva is essential. दुर्लभ यह सन्मार्ग को भाग्यवान नर पाए, सेवा जित प्रिय शिष्य में यह अनुभव गति आए. All the experiences of spirituality is possible only in the one who obeys Sadhguru completely, word by word, and become Sevajit Shishya. Who is Sevajit Shishya? The Sevajit Shishya is one who obeys the Sadguru's commandment completely, word by word. सेवाजित मीन्स सदगुरु आदेश को पूर्ण रूप से पालन करने वाला. That disciple is called Sevajit Shishya. And who is Priya Shishya? Adhikari Gun Sampanna Sevak. The one who also develop good virtues within their character. The Priya Shishya, the dear disciple, are those eligible sevak who are equipped with pure virtues. So more than changing our sadhana, what we need to concentrate more on is to become Sevajit and Priya Shishya. I think it's almost the time. We'll discuss more on it. This is a very divine, very pure subject for all of us to, imbibe within us with pure heart. So we'll continue on this next week as well. If anybody has anything else to share, speak at the last moment, we can maybe take 5 minutes to share your feedback before we conclude with the Shanti part.
So you are Sevajit and Ananaji is Priyashish?
No,
That's what I think with my whatever I have seen all these days. And Premashish, I can add Rekha ji and Rajkumar Gupta ji too.
I know about others, but I know about myself as well a lot better that I am just behind you, Chitralekha ji. You are much, much ahead of me. That's all I have to say.
God, this is another one. You are so humble. The knowledge that you have, that's one of the best virtues, which every time we listen again, we are going to basic questions again, but the knowledge is flowing. The Saraswati Jnanam you have got, and you are enlightening us with your knowledge. So if we are understanding Vihangam Yoga better, and you play a vital role for it, and I think everyone will watch for it.
I think Nirenji wanted to say something. Yeah, Nirenji, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to, add to what other person was saying. Sorry, I don't know her name. Uh, basically, whenever I hear you, Vijayji, I mean, when you speak, it is so eloquent. I mean, I know you have got a lots of knowledge, but your basically speaking capability, poetic capability is so good that I like to actually keep on listening it. Thank you very much. Firstly, it's a great experience.
You're welcome. Welcome. Yeah.
Hello, Vijayji, Rajesh here.
Yes. Yes, Rajesh.
So, Vijayji, whenever you speak, I mean, I feel like I'm listening to Sadhguruji only, because you have so much of devotion towards Sadhguru that I feel like just keep listening you. And you're so passionate, when you explain everything to us. I have never seen anybody, explaining these things so well that, uh, you feel amazed. So definitely, I mean, you are enlightening us with the knowledge that you have, and that keep us, motivating to do better and better every day. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. No, I agree. The way he speaks is just too good. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. Okay. So we'll meet again next Sunday. I will send you the references of Seva itself for you to go through from Swarved. Those who do not have Swarved, they may also plan to get Swarved. We are ready to post Swarved book to everybody. Those who are willing to get it, they can give us the address. We'll post you.
You.
Yeah.
Vijay, this is Yogesh.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. People in North Carolina, they can contact me for if they are willing to have Swarved. I have copies. So
Okay. Sure. Sure. Yeah. So Swarved is still in Hindi, and we are working on translating that to English. There are one English version of Swarved which is not complete Swarved. So those who cannot read Hindi, they may still read that part of Swarved which is already available in English. But the Seva chapter, which I'm going to share, is not translated in English in that part of the book. So the work is still in progress for translating the entire Swarved book. Till then, we'll just use the satsang forum to understand things. So thank you all. Please stay for a brief Shanti part. I request Ishaji to please complete this satsang with Shanti part, last 4 lines of Shanti part.
शांति पाठ। हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांति मैं शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांति मैं शांति। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व शांति, देव सदा फल शांति में, शांति शांति सुख शांति। बोले सतगुरुदेव भगवान की जय। बैक टू विजय जी।
Yeah, thank you so much, Ishaji, and thank you everybody for giving me an opportunity to do this seva. Thank you all. We'll see you again next Sunday, 3 o'clock. Jai Sadgurudev.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you, Vijay.